Every single day that I wake up, I'm thinking about music. Not just how it sounds and how it makes me feel on the inside, but the business behind it. I'm trying to think about the future. I'm trying to think about how I can retire off of making music. The consistency aspect of this is everything. It's so obvious that I think a lot of people overlook it. And when I say overlook it, I'm talking about in the course of decades. When you want to get better at something, it takes years and years to get better. If I want to get better at doing YouTube videos, I need to think in 5-year increments. I can't think about putting this down in a year if it doesn't work, because it's not going to work in a year. It's going to take a lot longer than that. And if I get successful, then I better be prepared to do that for a long time. This isn't something that I'm just going to do just to get successful and then move on after that, right? Like the whole goal is to be successful, to get monetized, to earn a living off of this, to do something that you love for a living. Anytime you want to pursue something, don't think about it in very small increments. Think about it very long term. How to do that is a different story, because who you are now is not who you're going to be in 5 years. You might have completely different situations, different relationships, different living conditions. And you're not going to really know what to do in all those right away. You're going to have to learn how to adapt your ability to be consistent. Your energy levels are going to change. There's so many factors. So if this is something you want to genuinely pursue, then you need to think about it long term. And not only that, but it needs to be woven into your daily routine. This isn't something that you think about on the weekends or when it's convenient to think about. You have to wake up thinking about this. You have to wake up wanting to do it. You have to learn how to learn, like my last video said, and try to push further than you ever have. It's a really tough thing to deal with. As you're learning how to learn, what you want to do is to be developing rhythms in your strategies. This could have to do with your creative cycles and your promotional cycles and how you weave those things together into your daily life and keep pressure on it constantly. You need to wake up asking yourself, what am I going to do today? And you can only really answer that in a consistent manner if you look at your big goals and you break them down into smaller time periods that lead all the way back into the one day. I'll give you an example of me. I want to retire off of engineering and music related endeavors, creative endeavors. That could even include YouTube. I've sold beats to pay bills. I've done an insane amount of studio time. I've done some videography work for some people. And now I want to get into YouTube. So the studio part is one huge part of this. But I need to keep on planting seeds as well. I've learned how to sustain myself in the music business as an audio engineer. But at the same time, I also want to pursue other things. But I can't let the engineering side go. It needs to still be a staple in my life. It's my bread and butter. It's what I know the most. I've always wanted to do something teaching wise, and I feel like YouTube is a great way to do that. I've never been insanely smart with technical abilities and really in-depth teaching stuff, but I love talking about things from a broader scale. I love talking about the psychology behind things, the fundamentals of daily routines that people don't think about. So this is something that I want to pursue. The only reason why I know that is because I stayed consistent for so long. I'm using things that I'm interested in deeply to help propel me forward, whether I'm ready or not. And I want you to think about that too. What are you interested in? What are you deeply in love with doing? What kind of topics are you deeply in love with that you love talking about for hours on end? And how can you incorporate that into your retirement goals? There's a lot of people that have platinum plaques that are back working normal jobs the next year. So I'm more interested in the long-term, how do you live in this world for a long time point of view. And that's consistency. Without consistency, you will fall apart and you'll have to rebuild yourself over and over again and restart over and over again, and that sucks. A long time ago, when I first started engineering here, I was working with a lot of singers, and I knew that I wasn't a very good singer, and I wanted to be able to keep up with these guys when it came to layering harmonies and just the ins and outs of knowing what a good take really was. It's easy to get excited when you hear somebody sing that kind of knows how to sing, but not really know how to coach them the proper way. So I wanted to know what it actually felt like to be in the booth singing. One of the things that I did was start vocal exercises daily as I went to the studio. And for about 5 years, I stayed on this program almost every single day and learned how to feel what it felt like to sing, how to push your range, how to help somebody when they're going through different registers and have a hard time and their voice is cracking, any of these problems, and all the millions of subtleties in between. I didn't want to have to think about it. I wanted to feel it. So when I'm in session, I'm actually singing along with the artist a lot of times while I'm engineering, and I want to know what it feels like to sing it. So I'm not a good singer. This takes a long time. I had to be incredibly consistent over the course of a long time to make it work. So one of my tips for you guys is don't try to skip steps. Absorb yourself into this life of the thing that you're trying to pursue. So if I'm trying to learn how to sing, this program back in the day, I'm so old that there were CDs, okay? There was 12 CDs in the set, I think, something like that. And I know a lot of people would want to start on those first couple CDs, which are more beginner warm-ups and really simple stuff, and then quickly go to the more challenging stuff. But I chose to stay on the first like 2 to 3 CDs worth of lessons because I wanted to absorb the fundamentals as much as I possibly could. I'm not really worried about being the most expert singer in the world. I really want to understand the simplistic nature of how to sing. So I didn't give myself some insane task to learn it in a year or else. I was just trying to stay consistent and not try to push through the steps too fast. I feel like a lot of people would try to skip to CD 5, 6, 7, 8 and try to get their way through it so they could say, oh, I accomplished it. I'm sure in a couple months some people would actually try to work their way all the way through that. But I wanted to be good for a long time. And the way I see a lot of this stuff is if I really want to understand something, I just bring it into my daily routine. No pressure, nothing too heavy, and just keep it going consistently. And you ramp it up over time. So I'm doing the same thing for videos. I'm not worried about being perfect on day one. I'm not worried about the lighting being 100% perfect or the audio, even though I'm an audio engineer and it kills me to have audio that's bad. My last video, the audio was distorted beyond belief, and I don't want to spend an insane amount of time to make things perfect, because if I do, I won't get enough stuff out. I want to develop a system where I can develop the workflow and get into the expert stages as I go over a long period of time. But I'm not worried about the expert stages now. What I'm worried about is being able to do this for a long time. So I need to prove it to myself that I could do that. I want you guys to really absorb the lessons that you want to learn and take yourselves seriously. Bring this into a daily routine that is consistent. If you can't be consistent, this isn't going to last long enough. You see, my framing isn't right. I just switched the camera around. I got some time in between sessions, so I'm trying to record this real quick. And if I didn't do this right now, would I ever get it finished? Let me try to fix this real quick. Oh, you guys could definitely tell. Okay. Well, let me get it. Oh. It's not even right. So, whatever. You can see the lines up here aren't fully level and all that kind of stuff. My lighting isn't the greatest. I should probably bring this light closer and make sure I get the right kind of angle and all that kind of stuff. So this stuff takes time. And the only reason why I know the stuff that I know now is because years ago, I spent a lot of time working on audio and video. Here, we like to spend a ton of time on the details. And it takes time to learn those details. So instead of killing yourself trying to learn everything in one day, or giving up, or not starting in the first place because you're so intimidated by those things, what we really want to do is break them down slowly over time. With all the problems that, like this framing being just slightly off, or the angles being slightly off. Don't worry about being the best singer right off the bat, right on day one. Don't get discouraged if you're 2 years into this and your voice is still cracking and you're having a hard time hitting those high notes. It just takes time. But if you do this stuff for a couple years, you'll be able to look back and say, wow, I actually did all these things. I did a lot of different things. And it felt like it was effortless. So if you work that muscle of being consistent, if just start on one thing. You don't need to add a million things. If it's vocal warm-ups every single day, are you trying to be a singer? Do those vocal warm-ups. Are you trying to be a guitar player? Work on your exercises, your finger picking, your rhythms, whatever it may be. It could be 10 minutes even. Develop that practice, add it into your abilities, add it into your skill set. To be able to be successful in the music business is incredibly challenging, and it's stressful, it's overwhelming. So take some of these ideas, take some of these tools, and implement them. I would love for you to tell me in the comments down below, what kind of stuff are you working on? What kind of things do you wish that you knew? And what can you start implementing today? I'll talk to you later.